for lesbian.
gays,
B stands for bisexual.
T stands for transgender.
Q stands for queer or questioning.
gender fluidity being one of them.
I stands for intersex.
And the plus. Yes, the plus at the end stands for the infinite number of genders that one may, identify with.
I'm gonna tell you my coming out story. जब मैं छोटी थी तो मुझे बिल्कुल पता ही नहीं था इन चीज़ों के बारे में. There were very less people who were talking about it. When I was in class 11th, I had feelings for a girl who was my classmate. People started calling me lesbian. I thought I was a lesbian. For 1 year, I considered myself lesbian. I was obviously confused about my past relationships that I had with guys. Later on, I met a guy, and then I got to know I am a bisexual. And this is really pretty. There were obviously haters too. Thanks to those who actually helped me out in that. जिन्होंने अजीब फील नहीं कराया बहुत ज़्यादा. I would say it's normal. Okay, it's normal. And more than being normal, it's differently beautiful. मुझे तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है when someone says you're different. Oh God, who wants to be common, huh? You are different, beautiful, and I'm proud of you.
I happen to be the first openly gay prince of the world. It was indeed quite a struggle for me when I came out, and the amount of obstacles which were created just because I was true to myself and true to others. I had to sacrifice a lot. But then eventually it is said that truth always wins. And here we are on 6 September 2018. The Supreme Court of India finally struck down Section 377, which was criminalizing the homosexual act. And the community for the first time felt that they have a legal recognition. And I would say that pride for me is a feeling of being proud of who we are and not have this guilt feeling within us that we are doing something wrong. We should celebrate it on an everyday basis, just not for a Pride month, but I think we should be feeling ourselves continuously proud for who we are and have the freedom to be who we want to be. Thank you.
So today I'll be talking about gender identity, which is important not only for the people under the spectrum but also for straight people. So let's get into the video. We have always been taught only about two gender, that is male and female, but it is beyond male and female. So let's divide today's topic in three different subtopics, that is sex, gender and sexuality. And all these things are completely different. Coming back to sex, the World Health Organization describes sex as the characteristics which are biologically defined. So the thing which you are born with biologically is your sex. Now let's talk about sexuality. And when we talk about sexuality, there's a lot under the spectrum. So let's learn about it. Human sexuality is the way people experience and express themselves sexually. It involves physical, biological, erotic, spiritual, feelings and behavior because it is a broad term. Simply, it talks about the gender you are attracted to regardless to your sex and your gender.
Guys, LGBTQ community is something which is the most prone to when we see human being at a threat. So I probably entertain people and let them know that why do we only make July month or June month as the only month, regarding for the LGBTQ society and being in a periphery where only 1 month is given and dedicated to the LGBTQ people. It is a system, it is a belief that should be celebrated throughout the year and forever. Because LGBTQ society doesn't need anybody's attention. It doesn't need people to go and people to come throughout us. And we do not always require that we should be waiting for somebody else's acceptance, right? Do accept everyone and make it a wonderful, wonderful year to come on. Thank you so much.
I think we have progressed a lot in today's time, but then there is a lot more to it. Now, while we pay tribute to the Stonewall riots in June and celebrate June as the Pride Month, we must not forget that it doesn't, stick to a particular month only. And we shouldn't restrict our celebration to just 1 month. And we must not forget similarly that the struggle of the community, the LGBTQIA plus community, doesn't restrict to just 1 month or just a day. It goes on for years after years. We have progressed a lot, and there is a lot more progress to be made. So I would request every one of you, the society who suppresses them, who tries to, ostracize them as a different part of the community. Let me just tell you, we are all humans. Before a particular gender, we are all humans. And for the humanity's sake, I think we should all embrace everybody who exists in the face of earth, despite who they like, what they do, how do they look like, what do they wish to be like. Let them be, and let them love who they want to love, because at the end of the day, love is love. Thank you.
Today, I'd like to speak about homophobia. I think most of us go through it, but most of us don't speak about it. Chakka, meetha, good. These are some of the comments which people pass on. But we never spoke about homophobia openly. That's what we need to do. Somewhere I feel that, we really need to stand for it and speak up. It's high time. But homophobia is a disease and it has a cure. And you know what? उसके लिए आपको डॉक्टर के पास भी जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, because that has only one cure, which all of us can do that. I think that's awareness, that's education. And also it's not necessary that it's our duty only to create awareness about LGBTIQ community, but it's your responsibility also to educate them about gender, about sexual orientation, and about several things attached towards the community. So let's erase homophobia, let's say no to homophobia, and let's spread as much awareness as we can, and let's all love, accept each other. Be the change to bring the change. Thank you.
I have been bullied, I called names, I underestimated to an extent that once I really wanted to commit suicide or quit studies, but I'm thankful to my surrounding. They were educated enough and always supported me. And I want to say that I am born and brought up in Ranchi, and it's a small city, but people are highly educated or not educated at all. And our Indian Constitution also says our Supreme Court decriminalized homosexuality. So it is like there is no any reason you won't feel like we are not normal. We don't bleed blue. Our blood is also red. And I just want to say that, but with everyone's love and support, wonders can happen. And we don't need your acceptance, but we need a respect in the society where we are living with you, and we are the society. So that's my request to everyone, that don't discriminate anyone. We are human, and we are human of earth. Thank you very much.
One thing that we all need to understand is that sex is not same as gender. Sex is what you're assigned at birth, what you're born as. But gender is something that you realize and understand over a period of time. And a lot of times, gender might not be same as sex. And it's absolutely fine and normal. I am gender fluid, and it means that I feel like a man sometimes as a woman, sometimes as both, and sometimes as none. And I am not confused. It's my identity. So whenever we approach a person, one thing that we need to understand and keep in mind is that we should always be sensitive and conscious with the pronouns that we are using for them. So we can approach them by saying your name, saying your preferred gender pronouns, and asking them the same, so that you don't misgender them in future and not hurt them. Because gender is a spectrum, and we should not assume anyone's gender, because everybody has the right to identify as they do and feel as they do. Thank you.
That just because someone is different and just because someone is something that you have not seen, does not mean that that somebody is not valid or is invalid. We just have to respect and accept people for who they are when they are in no ways affecting you, affecting your life. Stop asking this question to everybody, why do you become gay? It's very important for us to understand because nobody choose a life. For example, we all know that the LGBT community is not treated in the most pleasant way or is always discriminated. So who the hell wants to get discriminated on the basis of who they are? अगर इतना ही आसान होता तो nobody wants to live a life in which they are going to be discriminated, in which they are going to be invalidated by the entire society. So please, this is who we are, this is how we are born, and we do not want someone else to tell us that you are not right or you're not something like that.
So now in 2020, I see more and more representation, which is good for future generations and younger people who have to find themselves. I came to know about the term non-binary when I was 15 or 16 years old, and that was when I have joined the LGBT community, as I am pansexual. Dysphoria is the discomfort most, if not all, trans people feel with the traits they were born with.
There are many misconceptions that in the Eastern world it's harder to come out than in the Western world. Living in the Western world, it's actually still as hard to come out, if not harder, because we are still quite traditional within our roots. However, I have been very fortunate that I have made some amazing friends within the LGBT community. Within London, we have quite a big Asian and Indian LGBT community where I have met many people that I know will be lifetime friends of mine. My fiance and myself have been featured on many platforms on Instagram to express our story and show people around the globe an Asian gay Indian couple being engaged and kind of what this means and what our struggle was. This has kind of opened many opportunities for us in terms of reaching out to many people across the globe, expressing our stories, them expressing their stories to us, and ways in which we can help them. We've been able to touch so many people, which has been a great inspiration to us. Thank you.
Well, though my earlier happy memories is all of me watching my mom doing her shringar, her bindi, her pink lipstick, and watching my mom every day. Trust me, I learned much earlier to drape a sari than to drape a dhoti. Sounds funny, isn't it? And although I, came out to be a very broad-chested, strappy, handsome young man, but at the bottom of my heart, I was always a woman, a classic Indian woman rather. Well, today I stand tall, 6.5 inch with heels. Yes, I do wear heels, and with my head held high. So to each of one of you hearing today and watching me today, I think it's all about understanding and respecting humanity. So to all my brothers and sisters out there in the world today, it is not about celebrating LGBTQIA plus community just for the Pride Month. It's about celebrating togetherness, celebrating love, celebrating humanity. Be kind to each other, respect each other, treat each other as humans, and celebrate this color, the rainbow color, which India as a country represent in university and diversity always.
Talk about the LGBTQIA plus community, shall we? So what is exactly the community about? Well, the community is basically about two spectrums. One is the sexuality spectrum and the other is the gender spectrum. So in order to be a great ally, what you can do is either, if you meet a person and you don't know what their gender is or what their preferred pronouns are, it's always a good thing to ask, like, hey, I am so and so, my pronouns are so and so. What are your preferred pronouns? That will show them that you support the community, you know about the community, and you are a little bit aware about it. Even if you do not want to know about a person's gender or sexuality, the one thing that you can inculcate in your daily life is this one basic thing, that you can use more gender neutral language. So that would be the minimalist, the most basic thing that you can do in order to, show support to the community. And it would be really appreciated that you are woke about the community, you care about the community. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you have to do in order to show that you support the community. Thank you.
Why Pride is important to be celebrated not only during June but during every month. The first and foremost essence of Pride is that it's a protest. It started in 1969 with the Stonewall riots in New York, where the people who were tortured there finally lifted their voice. They raised their voice and they started a protest to speak about their rights, their existence as individuals. And that is carried forward for almost 51 years. That is something that needs to be spoken about each and every day, because our fight doesn't stop. It has only begun. So here's this message to everyone that pride is something that is an emotion, it is a protest, and should be done every single day. If you have a voice, raise it, because we just want to exist and we want equal rights. Have a nice day, everyone.
I just wanted to tell everyone that you don't need any validation or love from the family you were born in or the religion. You can have validation from your chosen family. The LGBT community is a huge community which has a lot of love to give. You can choose your family, you can choose your parents, and it's fine to not to have the parents you were born from. Because if they don't love your sexuality or mental problems or your gender identities, then that means they don't love you, and you don't need to expect anything from them. You can get love from the friends that accept you. You can get love from a lot of people, and it's fine to be gay in India. That it doesn't mean that you're not in Europe so you can't be gay. It's completely fine to be gay or a different gender or a different sexuality or a different romantic identity.
Hi, I'm Theo. I'm a bisexual and non-binary person, and I want to talk about why we need pride. Now, we need pride because we are discriminated against, we get attacked for who we are, and we deserve to be treated equally and given the same opportunities as a cisgendered and heterosexual person. And we need pride because we are proud of who we are, and just because Pride Month is over, that doesn't mean we have gone away or something. We're still here, and we will celebrate our identities. It is also like an umbrella term for other gender identities like gender fluid, agender, etc. etc. Non-binary, it basically just means that you aren't restricted to the gender binary, that is male or female. And to me, non-binary personally just means that I am not restricted to the gender norms or gender roles. And this does not make me a part of a third gender. When you say the non-binary is a third gender, that puts us in a gender trinary, which is the last thing we want. It defeats the entire point of not wanting a gender binary. And see, non-binary people have different experiences about them being non-binary. Some of them go by they them pronouns, some of them go by she her pronouns, some of them go by he him, some of them go by a mix of all three, or some of them. It depends from person to person, and the way they express it or the way they perform it is different. Like, there isn't a single way to be non-binary, and everyone should take pride in who they are. And so, to the point, happy Pride. Even though Pride Month is over, we are still here and we will celebrate Pride Month. And we won't just be restricted to Pride Month, because Pride exists every single month of the year, and we deserve to be proud in who we are every single month of the year. Thanks.
I started my journey of drag around June 9th, 2019, 1 year from today. And drag became a kind of a self-expression for me to present to the audience of my idea of gender and sexuality. It's absolutely normal to be in another gender, and gender is not something which is defined in one or the other way. Gender cannot be defined. Gender is quite personal to each and everybody, and it should be accepted as one person being. So gender is a continuum. It cannot be fixed into binaries. It can't be one or the other. It is something which is spreading from one spectrum to the other. And we should understand the alternative ideas of gender, and we should accept the alternative identities of gender. Gender is more than just being a male or a female, but it's more than being something which is out of the binaries. Gender cannot be defined as what you wear or what you look like or what your voice sounds like, but gender is more ideal to what you think or what you believe in. It's more defined than just what lies behind your eyes. It's important to understand that, and it's important to accept all gender identities and gender spectrum and ensure that we educate and create a safer space for everyone. Pride is something which should not be restricted to only 1 month, because pride is everywhere. And as we celebrate the idea of humanity, we should always celebrate pride. Wear that pride as a sleeve on your body and continue to spread love, because love is love.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. It's Sridhar Raghavan from Chennai. That along with intersex or not recognized and get proper rights from the society, they are still get dominant from other straight peoples, or they are bullied, harassed. So those they make depressions and commit suicide. So they somewhat the pride make them cherish and live to happy